Grumble, grumble.
Hey everyone, it's the Grumpy Meeple, and I am continuing my coverage of Shadows of Brimstone. Here, we're going to be looking at the BAKS1 kind of, I don't know what to call this, promo pack, or the contents of the Kickstarter, basically. You can see here, hopefully you can see that, we've got the Gates of Valhalla alt-gender heroes, the Valley of the Serpent King alt-genders, the Crimson Hand Dark Acolytes, the Trun Gladiators. We've got the Norselands Artifact Pack, Odins Wrath, Norseland Encounters, and then the Spanish Fort Artifact Pack and Dark Ambitions Encounters. So, let's crack this beast open. I'm a little surprised that there are miniatures in here, or at least it seems to imply that there are miniatures. Usually, if I recall, they like to keep the printed material separate from the miniatures, and so they would usually be like in their own box, basically. All right. Oh, okay, I see. So they have them divided up. That's cool. This out. Ow. All right. So, we've got a nice big pack of cards. We'll bust that open and take a look. We've got some large cards for our new and booklets for our new enemies, the Dark Acolytes and the Trun Gladiators. We've got some tokens, including this really cool sword token. That's cool. What the fuck that is. And then we got a bunch of miniatures. I'm trying to decide, like, I'm trying to open this stuff and get it prepared in some kind of an order. So I want to do the Norse stuff first. And so I don't want to just dump all this into a pile and then I have to remember later what the hell it is. All right, let's see. Zoom the camera in a bit. Looks like these are going to be our Dark Acolytes, I believe. Yep, there they are with their books and such. So that's cool. You get, what, 6 of those. Next up, sorry, all the rattling about. What do we got here? These must be our Conquistador alt-genders, I believe. Got a guy with a rapier, very cool. Guy with a crossbow, guy or gal, not sure. I haven't really looked at any of the Serpent of the Valley King stuff, although, you know, I started putting together the Valhalla stuff and then I immediately wished I had gone with the Spanish Fort stuff. They're both so cool. Such unique themes. You know, I don't know about you, but I don't have any other conquistador theme dungeon crawlers. Here we've got the Viking alt-genders. This guy looks pretty cool. What the fuck he's doing? He's got his hand raised. Hell. Cool stuff there. This I can actually set aside because I want that stuff. And then we've got the Trun Gladiators, which I also will be putting together because these guys are Targa enemies, and so they will they go with the Gates of Valhalla set essentially. Just making sure I'm on camera here. Yeah, cool. Oh man, the swords, the Gladius is so cool. Got a real appreciation for Gladii, having been voraciously devouring Warhammer content for years, and the Ultramarines, they do favor their Gladii. Alright, here we got a few cards. Not really sure why these are separate from those. It's kind of weird. Let's see what we got though. Alright. Yeah, what the hell? Gear. It's got this mark through. What is that? I don't know what that is. The Golden Plume. Use 1 grit to attach to any hat. Bonus. Once per turn, when you recover a grit or ambition, heal 1 wound and 1 sanity. Okay, that's cool. Ooh, the Fountain Water. Cracked. Discard to fully heal your health, recover a grit, and remove 1 injury or mutation. Or discard to resurrect a hero that was just killed. That's fucking rad. The Forge Hammer. Free attack. Once per adventure, do D3 wounds, ignoring defense, to an adjacent model. It costs you 1 fewer Darkstone to attach any upgrade to an item. Wow. All upgrades in Camp Town cost you 2 fewer Darkstone to purchase. Wow. Oh, that's awesome. D3 wounds. That's not bad. And then we've got a new threat card for the Targa Librarians and the Centurions. That's very odd. Again, I don't know, this must have just been random stuff that they forgot to include, I suppose. Taking a look here. Got a big pile of cards. I'm definitely not going to go through all these cards. I need a new blade on this. This is busted to shit. Jesus. Okay. Big pile of cards. Many of them Norse themed, which is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm trying to zoom in a little bit, so I have to keep checking the camera and make sure I'm still on camera. This is still a very, very low-tech approach to this. It's still my iPhone. I have no way of seeing what's on the camera when I'm sitting at the table. Although I do try to cast it to my TV, but because I film in 4K, it's so laggy that it's basically useless. But that said, I think it's still way better than the streams that the actual frogs do, which are typically at 720p and are lit like they live in a fucking troll's dungeon. All right, first of all, we got the Norseland Artifacts 1 game supplement. Shows you everything that comes with it. I suggest keeping these cards. I keep them in a binder because, you know, later on you might go to the store and be looking at buying some card packs, and there are so many. It's quite hard to remember what you already own and what you do not. So Set that aside. Here we've got the Fenris Axe, +1 agility, once per fight, gain +2 combat until the end of the turn. Wow. That's cool. You get 2 of those. 2 of the Songs of Battle, once per fight, use 1 grit to give all heroes +1 combat and +1 shot on ranged attacks until the end of the turn. Limit of 1 song may be used per turn. Wow, that's cool. 2 songs. That's a new thing. That's like a buff. I like that. The Sword of Asgard. +1 max grit. Your combat hits assigned to Myth and Thunderforged enemies count as 2 hits each. If a critical hit counts as 2 critical hits. Very powerful. Cape of Exploration. Wow, there's some really cool stuff in here. When an exploration token is revealed, if you're on the same map tile, gain 15 XP and you may recover a grit on a d6 roll of 4+. Well, that's interesting. It's very different. The Oath Shield. Once per turn, prevent up to 3 wounds, sanity, any mix you're about to take. And again, I don't want to spoil all these for people. But you can see there's all sorts of cool shit. The Dragon Helm, another song, the Song of Valhalla. This one gives you +1 spirit. Did the other one have a passive bonus? No, it did not. +1 spirit. Whenever a hero on your map tile recovers from being KO'd, including yourself, instead of rolling to heal, automatically heal the max amount possible by the roll. Wow. Wow. I mean, it only applies when somebody gets KO'd, so it's very kind of niche, but still super powerful. And you get a bunch more totally bitchin' artifacts to build out your Norse lands deck. Very cool. Next up, we've got Odin's Wrath game supplement. Bunch of cards. What we got here? I'll just read a couple of these because these really do get into spoilery stuff. Holding up your hand sharply, the rest of the group stops dead in their tracks. A fetid odor is carried on the wind, and the brush and snow here are matted with gore, fur, and bones. Troll sign. Do an agility 4 test. One hero does an agility 4 test. If successful, gain 10 XP as you tread lightly through the area. If at least one 6+ was rolled, also draw D3 scavenge cards as you search through broken bones for anything of value. If any hero, is it all heroes? Yeah. If any hero fails this test, attack D3 trolls. Ooh, draw an enemy trait for these trolls too. Brutal. Suppose I'm going to keep these separate. Just a minute here. Just trying to reorganize this stuff. And then the last one I'll read is Roaming Ghosts. Peering over the bank of snow, your eyes widen in astonishment at a cavalcade of glowing green specters shambling along the forest path. A march of the dead, but to where is anyone's guess? Spirit 5+ test, if successful, gain 20 XP as you watch and wonder, contemplating your own mortality. If failed, the spirits are aware of your presence, scattering into a glowing mist before vanishing, leaving you with a haunted chill. Take corruption hits equal to your spirit. Good God. And then there's a bunch more. Again, I'm not going to spoil this. Odin's Wrath. All right, next up we've got the Spanish Fort artifacts. Man, these do look really cool. The Norse stuff is cool. This stuff looks so cool. Spanish Fort artifacts. The Dueling Dagger, +1 initiative. Your combat hits are +1 damage. If your agility is higher than the target's defense if your agility is higher than the target's defense, I think that's supposed to read add an extra +1 damage if also higher than the target's initiative. Your combat hits are +1 damage. If your agility is higher than the target's defense, and an extra
+1 damage. Oh, okay. Your combat hits are +1 damage if your agility is higher than the target's defense, and an extra +1 damage if also higher than the target's initiative. I'm sorry, that's my reading. That's the problem. I've said it before on the channel. I'll say it again. I have legendarily bad vision. It's actually really hard for me to read things on camera for you all. So, cut me some fucking slack. The Dungeon Candle. You take 1 fewer horror hits from Voices in the Dark. Oh, okay, wow. Discard to re-roll a Hold Back the Darkness roll just rolled. Okay, that's very cool. Let's look for one of the really badass looking. We looked at some books before. I don't give a fuck about the. Okay, yeah, maybe. The Governor's Stamp. Once per camp stay, you may re-roll any single D6, even if already re-rolled. That's interesting. And Hidalgo's Brace of Pistols. Range 5, shots 4. Your critical hits with this gun ignore armor. Good God almighty. Very powerful. Very cool. Cool shit. Then we have the Dark Artifacts for the Spanish Fort. Dark Ambitions. Again, vision. Problem. Glimmering in the Water. A section of the stone wall and floor are broken out, collapsed and washed away by the rolling tides that crush against the castle wall, forming a small tide pool in the dark rubble and sand below. The ocean waters foam as they gather here, swirling with each wave. A gleam catches your eye below the surface. If you crawl down into the pool, you may be able to reach it. Agility 6+ test. If successful, draw D3 loot cards and choose one to keep. Nice. Discard the others. If failed, you slip and tumble onto the jagged rocks below. Take D6 wounds, ignoring defense, and you must lose 1 item, side bag token, or dark stone, washed out to sea. And yeah, I'll just. You can pause the video if you really want to read these. It's getting harder for me to read them, so I'm gonna move on. But you get a fat stack of them. This seems like far more than. $15, I guess that's the norm. I just thought it was less. Oh, and here's your description of what the pledge brick contains. And then you get some cards for your enemies. It looks like the arcane magics. Assuming that these are for the dark acolytes or whatever. Make sure this is still on the camera somehow. That's really not. Maybe. I don't fucking know. Dark summoning. Add D3 summoning marker. Okay, no. Well. Alright, how about this? Arcane Energy Bolt. A random hero within range 8 and line of sight to the spellcaster is the target of the following ranged attack. Arcane Energy Bolt. Spell. Shots 2. Damage P. Use the spellcaster's range to hit. Ignores defense. Yikes. So some cool stuff there for your acolytes. You've got your threat cards for the enemies that are included. Oh, so that's the Spanish fort symbol is what that is. You've got your kind of rule reference card for those guys. Some Otherworld threat cards. Take a look at those. Trun Gladiators. For Placid Wastes. Targa Plateau. Okay. Placid Wastes and Targa Plateau. And then your normal threat cards. Cool. And that's basically it. That's the contents of the BAKS1 Kickstarter pack. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will talk to you later.